Let me tell you, today was the biggest workshop we had so far here in Salt Lake City.
To say about inflation in HEX, it gets paid out to the staker class, and it is delayed, because what does the staker class do? They stake their HEX, and like we have seen before, the average duration of the staker class is 5.7 years. So the inflation of every year is delayed and even pushed out a couple years later.
Yeah, thanks for bringing up this point. So the whole inflation of the coin is the interest for the staker class. And now let's have a look which is the staker class. So everybody who puts their HEX to work is a staker, and all the stakers combined are the staker class. The staker class is how much of all HEX in existence are actively staked or are not staked. And if 100% of all the HEX would be staked, the average interest per year for the whole staker class would be just 3.69%. And if only 1% of all the HEX in existence would be in a stake, then this staker class would get an average per year of 369%. And as of right now, we are about a 10% staking ratio, it's called, and that's why the average for the staker class is about 37-38% per year.
What do you have to do to harness those 37%? Because if you stake shorter, you only get 12%. If you stake way longer than average, you get more percent. So what do you need to do in order to get those 37%?
So this 37% is like the average of the entire staker class, of the average weight.
What's up, everyone? It's Evan with Lions, Bulls, and Bears, back for a special episode. I'm just getting out of a HEX meetup workshop, and I'm here with Alan, one of the presenters at the event. How's it going, Alan?
Oh, really good. We just presented our workshop here, and it is so much fun all the time to meet the Hexicans, right? And something else that is going on right now is we just released our trailer for our documentary today for the first time, and we showed it in the workshop as well.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that documentary, and I'm super excited. Tell me, how is HEX different from other cryptocurrencies?
Oh, that's a great question. So HEX is the same as Bitcoin, but also totally different, right?
Okay.
So you can buy your HEX and just hold it liquid, and then it's just acts like your Bitcoin. It can appreciate or depreciate in value, right?
Okay.
But you can also stake your HEX and you can make more money with your money pretty much. What is DeFi all about? You will never be able to program on anything on Bitcoin, right? But now we have this possibility on the Ethereum blockchain. So Richard Hart made a beautifully game theory in HEX that incentivizes people to act a certain way. For example, in HEX, it's not good to be untruthful for the code, right? And I think it's so healthy for our world to have a blockchain that incentivizes to people to do the right things, like buying and holding. Satoshi Nakamoto would love HEX for sure.
Heck yeah. And I've heard Richard describe this as proof of weight and talk about the benefits of deferred gratification. And I think it's a beautiful design. My next question is, how do you think HEX will hold up during a bear market? And do you think it could decorrelate from the rest of the market?
Great question. So the bear market is pretty much designed for HEX. HEX was designed for the bear market, that's what I wanted to say. So why is that? The most liquidity that we have in HEX is in HEX and USDC. It's about 80%. So the other 20% is Ethereum and HEX. So when everything else is going down, HEX will just hold its price because it is pegged to the USDC and not Ethereum. And right now I can give you a little Easter egg here as well, because nobody in crypto heard about this principle. It is called Hart's Law. Assets that are tradable with each other will go down and up in price with each other. But since HEX is traded with USDC, it is totally uncorrelated to the whole crypto market. I think it's a beautiful design.
Wow. Wow, awesome. Richard has mentioned that it has had a few 70% drops or some big drops. Do you think there will be some other good opportunities for people who feel like they missed the boat to get in, or is it just best to get in as soon as possible? What are your thoughts there?
Well, of course, in HEX it's always good to get in as early as possible because we have a rising T-share price. When you research your HEX, you will understand what that is. So it is really beneficial in order to get more T-shares to stake early, right?
All right, so one last question for you. So Pulse is about to come out in a few months. How do you think PHEX, HEX on Pulse is going to affect HEX on Ethereum? Do you think they'll coexist together? Will would people stay with the Ethereum one or move over to the PHEX?
Well, what the people will do, I have no idea. I just can tell you what I will do. I will start using Pulse Chain for everything that I do on the blockchain, and I will use Pulse Chain for my HEX as well. Richard Hart said that he wants to have high HEX prices everywhere, right? So let's see what he meant by that. But I'm guessing that HEX on the Ethereum side and on the Pulse Chain side will meet parity at one point. Maybe like next year we will have the same prices everywhere. This is what he said, and I think this is what's going to happen in the future.
Awesome. Well, man, thank you so much, Alan. I appreciate your time. So since you're a HEX OG, how much money do you have?
Well, of course, I can now not tell anybody how much money I have. And crypto people always want to know, but you don't do that for OPSEC, right? But I always tell that story. So I found HEX really early. I was a day one investor, an early adopter, and I delayed gratification for 2 years. I was living in a little box, like in a basement. I had no running water, no heating system, and I did not spend anything because I used my money to buy HEX. So this was the delayed gratification, right? And now, since HEX has made 10,000x, I'm financially free. So I started traveling in February 2021. I was financially free. I would never have to work ever in my life again. Since then, HEX made another 40x.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, this is exciting stuff. Where can people find you and learn more about HEX and about Pulse?
Well, the best way to find me is on YouTube. It is Crypto Sparbuch with a K, Crypto Sparbuch. Really easy to remember right now. It's not, it's a German word. But also I have my private YouTube channel, abit_hex. And I'm also active on Twitter and Instagram with the same name, abit_hex. Thanks for this interview.
Oh, thank you so much, Alan.